welcome to Critical Tumble, where a bunch of longtime friends and internet nerds transcend geography through the power of Discord to play Dungeons and Dragons and critically fumble a lot, or if you're me, critically succeed even more, something you probably don't always want to hear from your DM. Previously, the Cupcake Coterie managed to get out of Avernus with, memory-wiped Alice, who had absolutely zero comprehension of Common, and owing to Paylor take the wheel tendencies from our no longer soul cleric, basically let Alice out into the world in general. At that point, Barnabas was kind of against his better judgment because these guys were pretty clearly fucking things up, but they'd probably fuck up telling the governor what was going on even more. So he agreed to go with Cherie to deliver a report to the governor, and they'd reconvene. However, basically, there was, at that point, with everybody being as stressy as there was no point in trying to make plans at that stage. So they headed off in all their scruffy, blood-stained, wounded glory to the to the Hall of Justice, which Cherie generally would have had you guys clean up first, but she wants to demonstrate the gravity of the situation, and this felt like part of the way to do that. The rest of you, however, were encouraged to scrub up, and after various bits of the paladin and the cleric kind of taking over the whole thing that was basically kind of Ava's moment to shine, so to speak, Ziriel himself turned up and told them all to shut the fuck up while they were bathing. Which was great, because you had clarity kind of up in water, up to right there, just going... Hazel did, in fact, shut up quite admirably. Remy did as well, but that just gave her extra time to brood, frankly. Ava did the thing, and I'll let any discussion of how that came about happen in character. But, let's just say she came out of the whole thing with novice cleric's understanding of what it feels like to channel miracles, and an even greater understanding of, well, the god, or at least the concept, she's now more or less devoted to. Which, however that works, is how it works. Rest of them, when they mostly reconvened, they reconvened in front of the grill because they haven't had anything but hell rations in well, several days, and Alice for over a week, so that's where lunch is going to happen. But before we deal with any of that, we're going to deal with Barnabas and Cherie. Cherie is doing the secretary stomp down the corridors, and for a number of reasons, not least of which the shredded grubby clothes and the blood. Dried, but still. People are very much getting out of her way, more than they even do Barnabas. Barnabas is just 6 foot of Minotaur. Cherie is the secretary. Leaving a clear path for Barnabas in her wake.
I mean, he will gladly use her as a blocking fullback.
Yeah, as long as she is happy to do that herself. Somebody did that to me in a mosh pit once. Wanted to get to the front of the, just to the very front, right by the stage, and grabbed me by the shoulders and used me as a battering ram. Directly through the mosh pit. I was standing on the edge of it because my prior experience with mosh pits hadn't gone so well. Singer crowd surfed, kicked me in the head, I fell over and got trampled. Yeah. So I was getting over a phobia, and this guy just grabbed and gink. Also, I had
Hmm.
also I had hair very long at that point, and the people I was knocking over grabbed at the first available thing to try to keep themselves up, which was my hair. Still the best concert I've ever been to, so fuck it. That was a big
All right
day,
then.
big day out. Metallica were headlining.
Ah, yeah, that could be quite good. When was that?
Oh, that was fuck. I was still living in Letchworth at that point, so 93, 90, no 95.
Okay.
I know there's some bits on YouTube from that concert, but unfortunately, no one seems to have got a recording of. They started playing one just as twilight was falling.
Mm.
So I'm sitting on this hill after a very exhausting day because it was a full festival, and I'm just sitting there leaning on my elbows. The sky turning that shade of purple, and that opening guitar bit.
Hmm.
Bah, I will never forget that ever. It was phenomenal. Anyway, so yeah, you pass the kitchens, and Barnabas might kind of stop briefly because that's lunch prep smells, and you've basically eaten cereal bars for several days, and the Heroes Feast, but still. So it's kind of brief pause for sniff, 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 and Sheree just grab,
He
and
doesn't resist in the slightest.
oh no, but I just couldn't imagine him not stopping for a sniff at least.
Oh yeah.
And turns up at a door that you don't really recognize. You haven't been in this side of the palace so much. But the half orc who brought you guys lunch that one time when you were actually standing before High Justice, sort of looking up from what appears to be one of these Egreffian magazines, a high fashion kind of thing, oddly, and looks up and goes, "You're supposed to be on her. What the fuck happened to you?" Uh, my holiday took a turn. I'm sorry, I know you're not going to want to do this, but might have to call morning court. We need to have a word with the governor. And I get to take the shit. Do you want me to walk in front of the great and the good of Ambia like this? Because I'll do it. Oh, no, 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 no. The look on his face. I mean, Sheree doesn't even notice. She is laser focused on shut up
Hmm.
and do as I say. It's like, yeah, okay, fine. Slips into the room. And over the, that concerned, gossipy murmur noise?
Hmm.
You get that, and immediately over it, just loud enough to actually carry above it, is one of those blueberry assholes going, "Oh fuck this, not again!" Which point,
Ah.
Cherie just opens the door, sticks her head in. She's a little scruffy looking, but not so much. Excuse me, given that this is a fate of the world situation, can I ask that him and his idiot, whatever they are to each other, just get locked in her Grace's Bower arena for about a day, and then sent out to the eastern reaches, wherever you can find someplace that will grow blueberries, because I've had enough of this. You got me to introduce myself to my new boyfriend. That's wonderful, but there are limits. You inconsiderate jack-off. There's a pause. The entire place is, that hush. And Behirzet is just. You hear it's clearly pointing at guards. You heard the lady. Protests from both of them. One of them being like, I knew better than to, why are you sticking me with, and as they're ushered out. And everybody apparently exits, and Sheree is just, yeah, the police cleared out in quite a hurry, and that's when Behirzet is a good long look at both of you. Sheree more than Barnabas, because you kind of expect to see an adventurer looking kind of injured, etc. But healed or not, the evidence of what damage Sheree took is there. All right, I will ask for Barnabas a few questions, and then I will ask my secretary for a report. Did you find her?
Yes.
And are things well there?
Uh, she's alive. She has no memory and apparently drank from the fell into the sticks and has no memory or ability to speak common.
And she's roaming around the city.
Yes.
I take it your people are on that?
Yes.
Well, at least she's not likely to be minded to anything but potential raid of the eatery stalls, I suppose.
I'm just glad that this happened not in Avernus.
That is fair enough. You can make any additions you feel you need to Ms. Balescu's report, but I don't think you'll need to. Sheree. At which point, and I am going to for everybody's sake, abbreviate this. Int bonus of +5 and keen mind.
Hmm.
Everything. The kind of thing Barnabas would have to refer to his notes for. You perfectly outlined in a, going back to X, with the all necessary, just to remind you we were discussing that back then, this is how this ties into X. This is the kind of report that you always hope you're gonna get from basically a cop, but you never do. This obviously takes a while, but she's still pretty efficient with it, all things considered. So the upshot is, given how long that took to resolve, I'm going to need to go back to Avernus very briefly, or at least have you open a portal to, and gives a perfect description of their little camp, so that we can get the Scourge Azamar and others that are still there back. Governor Zed pauses. You might wish to wait a little while. I mean, obviously a very little while here, but a little while before returning them. There's been an issue. With very, very few exceptions. One of them apparently being your companion. Just about every Azamar in this city is dead. What? Oh
What?
no.
Oh,
Barnabas, let's see where you're going with it before I ask for an int check.
Barnabas is assuming it's that bitch.
Yep. I'll give you this because you got that far. Who else's blood must she have if she was the second in command to,
Almost all of them.
Yep. So I need to determine whether this is something that will happen to them immediately upon. I mean, you. I don't know what the timeline is. I don't know. I don't even know if them being in Avernus protected them. As in the time it took between you seeing them and. But then again, the children that you saw. Then again, they were only cadets, so maybe she wouldn't have had a chance to. Some
Mm.
things need to be figured out. However, I understand that, Governor, but we can't just leave them there. They already thought we'd abandoned them. Just because we didn't know that she wasn't just killing them outright. We need. I know that I am imposing on your ability suite, but if you can get me there and back just long enough to explain the situation to them and make sure that they've actually survived reasonably. Fair enough. They stay there until we have some. Maybe if we send to the kitchens for something that they might actually find edible. Ugh. Which point, uh, small human, fairly young, you know, paler novice cleric robes just peeks into the door. In the very front door. I'm terribly sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to say that, the weirdos, can we not? One of the weirdos is standing right there. Sorry, but you kind of are. Uh,
It's a fair cop.
Weirdo is not necessarily bad. Anyway, point is that they came through uh, the shrine, and it took them that long to get to the shrine. Uh, from what I gathered from the secretary, the few of them got kind of lost on the way around. That not the point. The point is that Mr. Stumplefink, sir, uh,
Yes.
they're going to be at the grill.
Okay. Thank you.
Because everybody looks very serious, and I'm assuming that there's news that needs to happen. And okay, bye. Because the room is too tense. The room is too tense for this poor kid. And Beherzet is all right. Barnabas, you will probably want to join your friends. Cherie, we will send you and Dominic to the kitchens very briefly to pick up some supplies for the ones in Avernus. You will go. We will open that in 5 minutes. Fair enough, sir. And looks at Barnabas, to Cherie, back to Barnabas. All of you, your entire group. Uh, I will arrange for, including Cherie, as well. You may have your common sense back by now. You probably also need that level of intelligence for what is going on here, and she may have new things to report, up to and including how the ones still in Avernus are. Right, you'll probably have noticed right in the center of the Street of Plenty, there's sort of a tower, largely covered with hanging vine and that sort of thing. That's actually an eating establishment. It's called the Garden Spot. I will arrange a table for you there at, we'll say, 6 o'clock. I imagine that you will all probably need a little bit more in the way of a food for the next little while, all things considered. And it's a quiet enough spot to have a chat without upsetting people.
Thank you, sir.
Cherie just kind of is kind of ignoring the governor long enough to sort of. She does still have to stand on a chair, but smooch. I'll be fine.
Are you sure?
I have.
I'd be happy to come with you.
It's okay. It's all right. They'll probably send Dominic. He's going to probably be carrying the half orc is going. I'm already on my way to pick up the supplies. I'll have
Okay.
Dominic. It'll be fine.
Okay.
And I can at least tell you how everybody is. I
Hmm.
am, however, very sorry to leave you being the one to deliver this message to the others.
No, it's okay.
Well, it's not really, but it's a sympathy thing. Off you go.
Stay safe, love.
Just very quietly, aye, aye, darling. So, yeah, Barnabas heads in the general direction of course, probably as he approaches this bunch, you see is Hazel in this brand new poncho and is thinking, they must have found the mystery box. Oh, I forgot about the gifts I had for Shrimp Fuck. Well, we have dinner.
Dinner. Gotta be right. Dinner. Yes, definitely.
And yeah, you see
Ugh.
Barnabas, who's very grim, and then a very brief, mm, and then back to grim as approaches. And Alice is, okay, that's not the look I expect when I'm actually back and in full control of my faculties. So something worse has happened.
I would say. Yeah.
Can I?
Hug.
I was just about to ask. You were quicker to hug me than my wife. I'm
Oh.
I'm allowed to
Okay, that's a relief.
tease. Yeah,
That's a relief.
there's a there's a story to that. I'm not privy to 100% of it, but I have a feeling that we're going to be swapping stories, and the one that involves me is a lot happier than the one you have. But can there possibly be food first?
Yes, we have reservations from the governor at was it the garden spot? Garden
The garden
place?
spot.
The garden spot at 6 for a private good meal.
Yes, but we're not even quite to midday yet, so
So I think we should go
we
get some lunch.
yeah, we had decided for the grill for lunch because we heard great things about the lunch and we wanted to take you here for the lunch and now
Mhm.
here you are. Great.
Hmm.
Also, it probably means that Clarity, you're probably gonna have to get out of. Why are you in the poncho with? I shouldn't ask.
I don't know. It just happened.
Right.
It's a great poncho, but I have a feeling you're both gonna have a hard time eating that way, especially some place where you need a bib.
I'm just gonna nod and move to help detangle Clarity.
I'll
She's
let
probably
you-
gonna have the
I'll
better
let-
chance at actually doing it.
I'll let you take 20 on that one. It's not that big a deal. It's just kind of duck and whoop.
Mhm.
And Michigan is delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. You had Michigan on your head, so it's
Yep.
right. Here we go.
Hmm.
And, the half elf with the rainbow colored spiky hair is like, I'm just going to bring you to your table, and I'm going to bring the cornbreads, and I am also going to send my aunt to have a look at you, because this is a eat your fate away to nothing situation. So I don't think she's going to just let you decide what you want on the menu. Sorry about this. This way.
One of these places. Nice.
Well, no, you had the dinner. You just haven't had
Mhm.
lunch yet. Um, but yeah, streaks to the kitchen, comes back with a couple of baskets of cornbread. Again, the niece works in egg ref, so she's actually designed the bread baskets so that they keep the bread warm.
Mm.
And you know that quintessential, you know, childbearing hips. You cannot imagine her not in an apron, kind of that kind of motherly looking type.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no.
That.
The kind that in certain cultures, sandal.
Well, I mean, possibly, but in this case, it's kind of. Well, Louise had a point. Look at you. You were only in a day or two ago. Look at this. How are you not eating it? Okay, no. I know exactly what is going to happen. Do any of you have any allergies? Or
No.
any problems with meat?
Definitely not.
And yeah, the Louise, the niece, is this one is not so much on the meats. My husband will figure something out. And the very much the and if he doesn't, I am going to smack him with a wooden spoon. Now there are actually different types of cornbread. This time, we are doing, because Louise is here. We're doing experimentation. We have this is going to sound crazy, but onion soup cornbread and cheese cornbread.
Mm.
And I'm going to go and I'm going to make sure you are properly fed. Look at you people! And Louise is, drinks while you are waiting? Remember, it is the sweet tea, the lemonade, and if you want, alcoholic juleps. I don't think I could deal with drinks right now, although I may change my mind around dessert. Just the lemonade, please. I don't think I can imitate a hummingbird today.
Lemonade for me, please.
Lemonade.
Sweet tea?
Okay?
Raise B to T.
Could I get half and half of the sweet tea and the lemonade?
I'll say it's like, actually, what he said.
Yeah, actually, hold on.
Louise is just beaming. The spirit of experimentation lives.
Oh no.
I will have
Wait,
I will have to have some and see what it is like, because I've never tried this. It is certainly
Uh-oh.
possible. I've just never tasted it.
Out of character, did we just invent the Arnold Palmer here?
Oh, God, we did.
Yes, you did. You goober.
It's
Probably be
wonderful.
called something different, but like,
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, I mean, that's why Alice is like, because, I mean, that's like, you get the tea flavor and some of the sweetness is fucking diluted.
Mm-hmm. But the lemon goes with the tea, and it
Yes.
just it's
Yes, it does. Wonder if you could do that with other different types of juice. Just because sweet tart things like pineapple or peach. And actually, to be fair, that's the kind of thing you have Louise muttering as she's heading for whatever drink station they have.
I have done it with green tea and lemonade before. It worked.
Well,
Might not be everybody's cup, but it worked.
actually, that's a point I'm going to have to start attempting tea from my own tea garden. I was thinking a combination of the lemon balm, the lemon bergamot, a little bit of stevia, and marshmallow for when my digestive system is hating me. If it works, I'm gonna dry a blend of that and send it to Smeagol. Well, you can buy little tea bags, you see. I actually,
That is terrifying.
any of you that have cats for extended period of time, I need to cut back my valerian. So I was thinking of making cat toys. Cheesecloth, cotton batting, stick in some dried valerian because I've got my dehydrator. I might as well use it, and then just have little. It's like catnip, but a little less chilly than. They can get a little hyperactive, but mostly it's a chill thing.
They just go, I can see time.
Well, if you keep it relatively diluted, it's mostly just yay, bat, 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 bat. Like I say, it's like catnip, but I'm not growing catnip. I'm growing valerian, so I figured cat toys for everybody. Anyway, yes, your various drinks are brought. Alice is actually taking that particular innovation and applying it to the cornbreads because she takes a square of the onion soup and the cheese and then pulls them apart and puts half of one and half of the other together. Yeah, yeah, it works. Shoves the other halves in Barnabas's direction.
All that stuff.
Okay, so while we're waiting to be smothered in food, do we want to start with their story or yours?
Bad news first, probably.
Fair.
Remy stares expectantly at Barnabas.
Clarity has been prestidigitating Barnabas this entire time, just trying
thank
to
you.
clean him
Thank
up
you.
a little.
So it looks like the bitch had way more blood samples, and almost all Asimar in the city are currently dead.
What?
Remy starts shaking with restrained fury.
Yeah.
You just hug.
All
I
the
get
ones
it.
from Summit?
I get it. Oh shit, the kids.
Mm-hmm.
I mean at Hearth Home.
We need to check on them.
Oh.
I can do ascending. I'm not looking forward to the noise. Because that's the thing. This way we can figure out, or at least know for sure whether. Because if they said they died in this city, and no mention of resurrection.
We haven't. No, I didn't. We didn't even get into it.
That's the thing. He would have mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
We need to know because if this happened at Hearth Home, then they would have called for Lyra. If they had, we left a significant amount with them, so hopefully they'd have enough. But that way we know one way or another if they died in a way you can't come back from. I'm gonna take this outside. Give me a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And off she goes. Although it probably occurs to a couple of people that maybe starting with the bad news wasn't a great idea because Alice hasn't been able to have 5 minutes without horror at this point.
She starts to go out. Barnabas is like,
Already done. Already done.
I know, but I can still feel like an ass for it. Cherie's actually going back to Avernus to check them there and coordinate. Should be back for the meal that was planned for us at 6. Report.
Did they know what? Did they say what happened to them?
No, it was fairly brief.
Barnabas, Clarity, you're both the intelligent ones. If it had been anything other than mysteriously dropping dead, do you think they wouldn't have talked about?
Yeah, honestly, if it would have been anything other than just dropping dead, I'm sure the governor would have shared that information. Mm.
Alysei steps
By
back
the
in,
way,
s- slumps on the bench next to Remy, and going,
Oh,
"Well, put it to you this way. Not only has Skylar decided to be a paladin of Bahamut, she's
mhm.
also decided to follow Remy's oath of vengeance. I think that tells you all you need to know."
Mm-hmm.
Well, fuck, now I know how Froseth feels. And Faraday.
Yeah.
Mostly, at that dinner, we need to ask who survived and how. But you know what else that means? That's the entire guard. Pretty much.
And the city's unprotected.
Mostly.
Seems too big a
That-
coincidence.
DM, the one who had been essentially become the highest ranking officer, uh,
Ren.
were they also?
We don't know. We just heard most. I mean, we can check. We know where he is currently based. But I have to admit, I need to sit down for a few minutes and eat something that isn't sawdust. I'm sorry, this is a need.
Oh, we all do.
Absolutely need to do that. Defending the city is something that the governor will be working on. We can't just pull a small army up ourselves.
I mean, the thing is I don't know if that's necessarily that they wanted to necessarily leave the city undefended to be attacked. It doesn't sound like Jessamy's style. I think it's just she wants fewer people looking for her.
And my bet is in her own deranged, twisted manner, preventing more and more people from being subject to the soul taint.
So, it does beg the question where their souls went, but
That must be why the resurrection magic isn't wouldn't work if they tried it.
well, I know for damn sure that Lyra did. I think she's gonna be kicking herself from here to eternity for not being able to do anything.
Maybe we should ask Priest in Narul. Do they have a temple? They must have a temple here, right?
Yeah, I mean, probably several, but again, if resurrections had been possible, I mean, even without Cherie there calling shots, the governor's not stupid.
Um,
I mean, if anyone would have a theory of to where their souls went if they're not going where they're supposed to.
Oh, no, it's possible that they were in fact going exactly where they're supposed to. It's just any tether between where they are and coming back might be gone. It's complicated, and you can't get a whole lot from ascending, but I don't know if that's the issue right now. We can see what Cherie has to say after dinner, but especially given the sheer number of people who have apparently dropped dead in the last few hours. Remember, it's been a few hours here for my week and a half and your few days. There's still priests of Nerul deal with preparing the dead. They're probably still in the middle of figuring shit out.
Yep, that's a very good point.
Probably this evening would be best. If nothing else, we should probably pay respects.
Mm.
There's that. And then there's also the damn vampire.
Yes, that's something we can deal with ourselves. Well, we have to.
That's probably a part of this I've entirely missed.
I gave my word to a planetar that we would deal with a vampire that's here in the city that had helped Jessamy.
Help Jessamy with...
Things.
Blood
How they-
magic? I think it was
Yeah,
blood
I think
magic.
so.
So... If we go after the vampire, she might know what they did.
Maybe.
Worth asking.
Well,
We
they
have to
tell us
take her
that's the
alive,
question.
so
Oh,
Well, the
that's,
answer is a question.
that's gonna be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy. And yeah,
The
the
nice thing with the vampires, you can do quite a bit to them, and alive still counts, and no one will complain.
out of character. Some of you remember Cherie mentioning getting planning permission to burn the building down. So there might be forms.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, given this woman is not particularly tall, it's probably hard to imagine, but apparently under the comfortable plump, there's a fair bit of muscle because Louise's aunt is carrying two very large trays, one balanced on each shoulder, and apparently no strain at all. And sort of sets one on one table and is in front of Rylan goes. This time it is it's some kind of squash. I don't think you have this kind of squash in the Elven Wild, but it's green and round and filled with sort of orangey yellow flesh. But that in and of itself is also full of lightly spiced lentil concoction, and there's also the coleslaw. To be honest, I don't think you've seen potato salad, but yeah, it seems to be bits of cold potato covered in a sauce, and a salad approximately the size of your head.
Oh,
The rest of you, it's a couple of different plates. In point of fact, it is and it's not even sliders. It's proper one small plate, small-ish plate with a pulled pork sandwich. One has an open-faced chicken sandwich smothered in gravy with French fries, potato sticks, you guys call them, on the side. Also coleslaw. Also potato salad. And you're not entirely sure why there is a sweet potato, but there is a baked sweet potato. In fact, I'm not sure all of you know what sweet potatoes are. the country dwellers do. So Hazel and Clarity. Does Ravnica have sweet potatoes? Ravnica kind of has sweet potatoes, but they
Maybe
don't
they call them yams.
it's more, yes, they call them yams, but they also are in fairly short supply. People are apparently prefer the white potatoes, so you've seen yams, but they're generally expensive because there aren't many of them, and people consider them an acquired taste. But you have one of those slit open and oozing butter.
Ooh.
Clank, clank, clank. Louise is to be thanking you, and sir, what is your name?
Me?
Yes, you.
Barnabas.
Full name?
Barnabas Stumblefink.
Okay, good. That is what we are going to name the drink you suggested.
Oh, those poor people. Oh, it's gonna. If this catches on, there's gonna be poor people ages from now ordering with my stupid name. Oh my god.
I think your name is charming, personally.
Thank you.
If you need anything else, let me know. You're...
This is some good stuff, though.
Yeah, Alice is kind of... I'm sure that once I start eating this, I'll get a bit more of my appetite back, but I have to admit that... Anybody else feeling like that didn't do great things for the appetite? That news? Sorry.
Yep.
You especially need to keep up your strength.
I am aware of this, but I am still making the comment in case anybody else feels bad about this food that people very clearly put a lot of effort into, and mostly just staring at it.
Well.
Look. Also, I don't know where to start because there is an awful lot of this.
Barnabas just starts because Cop can eat with anything going on.
Yeah, no, that's entirely fair. But Brian, you've probably spent a bit more, well, almost certainly spent a bit more time in Canada than any of the rest of these. I don't know if you've ever seen the kind of open-faced chicken sandwich that they do in Montreal.
Oh, I've seen it.
That's
I
what
have.
you've got. Yeah, basically that's what they do with all the, you know, when they do the when they do the mixed grill and it's leg bones. This is what they do with the breasts. They save them for the next day and make them into the open-faced chicken sandwiches. So it's that quality rotisserie chicken kind of thing, smothered in excellent gravy, which is wonderful for dipping the fries into, incidentally. But it's probably new for everybody, because a sandwich with no top layer of bread is kind of weird for some people. But still, mwah.
Barnes is trying real hard to not make noises about how much he's enjoying this, considering the circumstances, and he's mostly succeeding.
Yeah, I'll say is like, I know, but go
I
ahead.
know.
Go. No, what I'm saying is, let yourself enjoy it. I know, and be verbal about it if you want to. I know the bad shit is happening, and we're trying to fix it. But I don't know about anybody else, but I personally cannot handle having not even a little bit of light at this point. Do the do. Also, you making the pleasure noises is actually helping my appetite, so...
You try some, please. Try.
Well, you've all got about the same thing, so it's...
Fries. in the gravy. This is marriage proposal gravy. All right.
I'll say this. I bet that next time Sheree cooks for you, and if it involves gravy, hers actually will be marriage proposal version. Partially because it'll be that good, but mostly because it's from her.
Mm-hmm. Or it'll even be better on the very biased scale.
Oh, you did say
objectively, objectively, it'll still be better, but on the bias scale, it's just completely off the charts.
Like their bourbon pecan pie.
Oh.
Yeah, because out of character, you're forgetting the last time you avoided it because Sheree obviously made better, because her pulled pork is better. So
yeah,
but okay, I see. You're reacting to the very memory of Sheree's bourbon pecan pie. Cool. Okay, so because I need a break. Sorry, and we'll go back to dealing with serious after we've eaten. But it's a nice poncho. I don't remember a whole lot, but I don't think there's a lot of ponchos like that in Avernus.
I got it here. There's a shop where you can buy boxes of a certain value, and they don't even know what's in it. And I didn't know what's in it, and then I gave it to Hazel because she likes surprises.
And it turned out to contain poncho.
And it's been killing me for the past few days in Avernus, what was in this box, because, things were happening, but also in the back of my mind, I was like, what's in the box?
Oh, Christ, now I'm hearing that in Brad Pitt.
What's in the box?
I cannot hear that phrase without thinking of that scene.
I don't think anybody can who's seen it.
I haven't even seen it. I've just seen that clip several times.
I actually found a reaction video compilation of that, and it's like, these people only watched this like maybe a couple of years ago. One of the people I saw watching it was wearing a T-shirt from Critical Role series campaign 2. Which was not that long ago in the grand scheme of things, and I'm like, 7 was like,
it's old, like early 2000s.
How do you guys miss that shit? I know.
You feel so old. That was like just a couple years ago, right? No.
I know.
Oh no.
I live under a rock, plus I also missed about half of the wording, so I don't actually even know what y'all are talking about.
The movie 7.
Morgan Freeman. Brad
Movie
Pitt.
7.
Morgan Freeman.
Yep,
Brad
no
Pitt,
idea. I live under a rock.
Kevin Spacey. It's kind of, I guess it's kind of fitting that he plays asshole so very, very well. Little shit. I hate it when the little shits are talented.
Yeah.
Also, Michigan is in the process of stealing Hazel's potato salad.
Yeah, I'm on so much autopilot right now that I don't even notice.
Clarity's shoving sweet potato in her mouth.
Hazel's
Barnabas noticed and it approves,
Yeah,
so he
Hazel's.
says nothing.
Just spooning it in there.
Yep. Yeah, the reacting enough to acknowledge the clarity actions, but just still, cleric equals zombie.
Zombies are usually a little more violent, but I get what you mean. Well, that was a short-lived bit of niceness.
I still have one to give to Cherie, actually, and kicking myself a little bit for not giving it to her yet, but we kind of had to report immediately. So
And I don't imagine in the middle of a report. How did that
yeah,
go? How did that go over anyway? I can't imagine the Governor Zet is keen on being interrupted.
um, he was actually surprisingly tolerant of it, and the pair of us stomping, you know, and stomping was the word. Barnabas spends a good couple of minutes lovingly describing just the aura of "get the fuck out of my way" that she's able to. You know, and you'll all love this. The Blueberry morons were back.
Oh lord.
And when one of the functionaries went into, Sherry demanded that, we need to talk to the governor now. We need to disperse court. Well, one of them opened his mouth to complain, and we could hear it. And she burst her head in, and apparently they are going to be taken directly to Her Grace's Bower. Her Grace's Bower for a 24-hour bout, and then sent to the eastern reaches where they can grow. And they tried to protest, and after yelling all this out in open court, the governor just went, "Well, you heard the lady." I love her so much. And the report. Mm, oh. Remy, this is like the metaphysical ideal. I can't say platonic because that doesn't exist in a fantasy world of what you would want a thorough but fast and it was. I was probably making stupid, love stick eyes at her while doing it, even though it was kind of grim news because it was just so good.
I am not surprised in the slightest.
It's not even that's more than just good at your job. That's inbuilt skill and talent.
Well, inborn talent, highly honed skill.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Don't never discount the work people put into that stuff.
I don't. I absolutely don't.
I'm aware, but I'm suggesting a phrasing. Is all.
I was probably getting the phrasing mixed up because it was so damn impressive, and it makes me love her even all the more. So.
Yeah. Well, now I've given you the words to express how impressive you made it. That didn't accidentally put the years of training to the wayside.
Thank you.
Actually, Ava, this is probably you've mentioned the shopping bits. They've mentioned the shopping bits. This might be a good time to. Because you had a question.
Where would I find a holy symbol?
Go to the Street of Love and Beauty and throw a rock. Wait a minute, is this to do with how you got my memory back?
Yeah, how did you?
Yeah.
Call it a leap of faith. Only maybe a little more in the literal sense.
What?
Did the what?
I'm sorry.
Half of that a character.
Okay.
I'm aware.
Yeah.
It's probably best just to leave it there, right?
Mm-hmm.
But apparently this is something you're cool with. Can I help you pick it out?
Sure.
Given the amount of jewelry I generally wear, I must be reasonably good at picking it out, even if most of it wasn't actually bought by me. Michigan has finished the potato salad and is starting on on Hazel's coleslaw. At which point, I'll say sort of reaches and waits until Clarity's in between forkfuls and tap, tap, tap on Hazel's forehead. I get it, but if I need to keep my strength up, so do you. And you're gonna let Michigan eat himself into a coma.
Just picking up the gremlin.
Delicious.
I know, but if you inhale so much of it, you're going to be fully non-functional. Measure. Don't pull me. I ate a pie that fast once. It came back.
Snug?
Just down into snug position, and I'm veering into just alternating between feeding myself and feeding the gremlin.
Be careful with that much cabbage in an animal. There might be repercussions later.
Well, to
Of
be
the
fair,
smelly variety.
she just said feeding, not necessarily just the coleslaw. And I imagine
No, I know, but
yeah,
I was eating the coleslaw.
the reason I was where I was getting to with that was Hazel has lived on a farm for much of her life, and I imagine that the goats that they do actually have got into the cabbage patch once when she was younger, and she had to kind of clean up after that and deal with the consequences of. So Hazel knows full well to make sure that the critters do not eat too much cabbage, and there's other things. That's a good thing about Michigan. Michigan will eat anything. So yeah, as Louise is clearing the table, her aunt comes up and goes. She has another large tray. This one is covered by one of those little silver hats, and drops it in the middle of the table. Apparently, this is you're not allowed to order anything. You are just going to eat what she puts in front of you. Takes off the lid, and there is this massive ginger cake with sort of marble frosted chocolate icing. It's already been cut into enough slices for all of y'all. And she also puts out coffee the way you like it best. As she trots off. It's on the house. You've clearly had a hard week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, we kind of have to eat this, or she's going to get angry and chase us with a wooden spoon. I'm not really up for that right now. And afterwards, we go outside, so she doesn't hear us having our existential crisis, and figure out a game plan for what we do until this dinner. I think there's not a huge amount we can do about the various things we have to chase up until that dinner, because I imagine Cherie will have more information, but and we probably need that before we do anything. But we've got errands we're probably going to need to run. I am when we're doing the holy symbol shopping, I'm gonna look around for some. Actually, I suppose asking the twins would be good for that. Some way to properly commemorate those kids that died at our home.
Mm-hmm.
I liked those little shits. And it's just cake. Translation, we're at about break time, so when we come back, we'll deal with little odds and ends, and probably fast forward a bit to dinner so that we can aim in a direction of solving problems. And we're back, finishing up a fairly large meal, basically thrust upon the party by very motherly individual who insists, you're not paying, you're just eating. Eat. I mean, Alice A still slaps a gold on the bar as a on the table as a tip. While all of this has been going on, she's been sort of pulling the occasional bits out of a bag of holding and then just being like, "I'm gonna have to buy a new bedroll." While we're out, um, I I think I left mine. I honestly don't know where. That's the worst part of this. I'm sure I saw some really important shit, but nothing registered. All the words just I heard them, but apparently I don't get to understand what I didn't understand then, so it's all wah wah wah. I wonder if there's a cure for that, but one thing at a time.
Mm.
So right, yeah. Shopping for bits and pieces and trying to figure out an approximate order so we have something to present to Cherie when we see her at dinner. Does anybody else need anything so that we know what kind of
Um, if we're just doing random stuff around, Clarity's going to go back to the portrait shop and see if the portrait of her parents is done.
Yeah, well, I mean, you have to be on the street of love and beauty anyway because Ava's looking for a holy symbol, and when you go in, yeah, it's ready. Apparently, she works fast.
Oh, it's beautiful. How much do I owe you for this?
I'm not going to ask for details, but you seem glum. Is something wrong? Like I say, I don't need details. I just
I
oh,
There we go.
Yep.
Yeah, we're obviously adventurers, but we've been dealing with a lot of terrible things lately. Things with the asthma.
Like I say, I don't need details. It's just take it.
Yeah, are you sure?
Some of the art that's been you being in town has been wonderful for business. Put it that way. And honestly, the whole reason I'm here when I could be just about anywhere else, partially because I like it here, but also because it's a place where people really understand that sometimes your best payment is just getting someone to smile. And I did, so there you go.
Thank you. Can I still give you a tip? Because otherwise I feel bad.
It's entirely up to you.
Okay. Gives them 2 gold and then thank you. Bundles it up and wanders off.
It's Clarity hugging portrait and looking kind of touched, basically. Meanwhile, Alice A is a few doors down, looking in a specific jewelry shop window and points to one at the very back that Ava hadn't even seen. Apparently, when she went to the monk place, she got real fucking perceptive. What about that one? It's a standard sunburst, except two of the tines, the actual bursts, are wings. Seems appropriate. Right, in we go. Yeah, what you actually have is 4 gnomes. They look similar enough to be siblings. 3 of them are working on their own various bits, so there's various noise of grinders and that kind of thing. And the last one, probably the older of the bunch, little bit of salt and pepper hair. It's like, will you 3 shut up? We have customers. We're busy. It's customers. Sorry about that. How can I help you?
No problem. We we're interested in that holy symbol in your shop, in your window.
At which point, probably the youngest of them is just, ha! I still think you would have been happier in Agraf, says the one who's clearly itching to get back to his jewel polisher. I'll go get that for you. Brings back. It's a 3 gold piece. It would probably be more expensive if it was pure gold, but these are the kinds of things that are meant to be actually worn, so it's actually gilded steel.
3 gold is perfectly acceptable.
Do you want it in a box? Do you want it wrapped?
That's all right.
You're going to wear it out.
Yeah.
You.
Mhm.
At which point Alice leans forward. I'm sorry. Some of the noises you were making suggest that you don't think that my friend here would be of any kind of good as a cleric. She looks a little too refined for an adventurer cleric. Grab.
Not save.
Lift. Walks outside to where Hazel is. Sets him down, turns around, hands on the shoulders. Hazel! This one thinks that there is a particular look to a cleric. And clerics can't be refined.
Excuse you. You can just see the veins start because limit reached. Cleric has gone berserk and has basically latched onto the torso and is now shaking.
And Alice, let's go. Sort of leans over to the rest of you and going, I just needed her to vent that shit.
Yeah,
Hazel, continue.
I've gone to incoherent halfling shrieking.
Shame these are gnomes, but hey.
Yeah, but no, I just went to the only other language I know because I can't even, words the sheer
And
unfiltered rage coming out of her face.
the hand to fate is kind, and this gnome actually does understand Halfling. So he's just getting more and more, even with the shaking, just it's vanishing into the collar of his shirt.
At some point, I've reached the point where I'm shaking him, and I've lifted the guy up. Finally, run out of steam, just drop him.
Hand of fate is less kind. He lands on his ass. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm just in that post having dropped him position. I haven't moved.
Sorry. Won't do that again.
Dead.
You're just back into the shop.
Just straight from vertical to seated position.
On the cobbles, okay.
Yep, just nope, done. I'm done. I There's that, and I still have just a whole fuck ton of that state left over for turning a vampire into so much paper mache.
Hazel's
Hazel just used to can.
yeah, yeah. It's, all aboard the Nope train to fuck thatville.
Oh yeah, like got on is basically bolted to the damn locomotive at this point.
Anyway, Ava gets her holy symbol, and Alice is just kind of, let's just go and leave them to their embarrassment.
Mm.
I'm sorry, but they should have known better in Ambier of all places.
Mm-hmm.
Does the unreasonably attractive gargoyle hunch across from Hazel. Feeling any better?
Forgiven value of that. Yeah. Think I have the ability to words again.
Do you want
Good.
foom noodles?
I would not say no to foam noodles.
Takes her by the shoulders, stands up while holding Hazel to bring her into a standing position. Then we'll find you foom noodles before I go get myself a bedroll, okay?
Okay.
It doesn't take very long to find the three kobolds with their mac and cheese truck. Hello. Alice looks over at Hazel. She is in desperate need of foom noodles. Look at that face.
Praise be to foam noodles.
We have discovered extra foom noodles.
Oh no.
Do you want the extra foom noodles?
Yes.
Of course she does.
They follow the what they did to make the foom noodles last time, and then the kobold at the far end of the line ducks a little bit. Apparently opens a little compartment in their stall. Pulls out protective goggles designed for kobolds and protective gloves on kobolds.
Oh lord.
Shuts that compartment, opens up another compartment, and even from here, even with what you can see as a sealed container, you can smell the spicy. Carefully, like handling nitroglycerin, brings out the... If you do not have tolerance for the spicy, I suggest you step backwards.
I'm actually leaning a little bit in.
Yeah, he was going to take a couple steps backwards.
I'm assuming the rest of you are doing the same?
Barnabas will take a reluctant half step backwards.
Okay, well, in which case I would like Hazel and Barnabas to make Constitution saving throws, and Hazel doesn't even get advantage.
Hopefully.
Hazel is suddenly remembering when that gets opened, and so is Barnabas. Ryland's reaction when Hazel brought the foom noodles too close to their face. Eyes watering, sinuses are... quickly takes a dropper. 1, 2, 3 drops of this stuff. Empties the rest back in and seals it, and you can actually more or less see again.
Wow.
Very carefully puts... Do you want the super foom noodles too, sir?
No. I had quite a lot of food recently.
Considering he had a nat 1, I think he's had it.
Oh, that's the stuff right there. Ooh.
Very, very strong.
And yeah, you guys are probably going to want to step back from Hazel while she's... because she's been reverently handled the extra foom noodles.
Thank you.
I'm gonna ask for another con save for eating this stuff.
Let's see if this actually cooperates.
Yeah, it was just the sheer power of the entire canister of whatever the fuck that was. It tastes fucking amazing.
Yeah, this is actually getting a delight squeak. I haven't hit hypersonic yet. I don't think I'm able to anymore, but definitely less dull than I've been the entire time since getting that news. Of course, I'm also in said moment of yay, moving back towards the group.
And Alice, I don't have a problem in general, but yeah, could everybody now? Actually, no, because Barnabas rolled nat one. Barnabas is sticking with that nat one. Everybody else, roll me a con save.
Like proximity.
Actually,
Rylan
We
remember.
were just in hell.
Right, well, that's the thing. Rylan remembers from the last time, and uh, thankfully manages to keep a distance where can smell it, but isn't killing the sinuses. Um, Ava doesn't manage to get clear in time and is experiencing the ow, 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 ow.
what is that?
Remy, and Clarity actually want to try this shit.
Big surprise.
And Alice literally just kind of scoops up some and nice.
Fitness. Extra foam.
What?
Oh my lord, that's strong.
Stuff is amazing.
Of course, Barnabas is
Smells
now
good, actually.
Barnabas is now probably also remembering the when you have something to celebrate remember those two Azamar kids talking about they were preparing to do the taster challenge through the stalls. This probably reminded you of that as something to do and something to suggest to them for as you put the world over celebration purposes.
Yeah.
Alice is okay. Besides the thing with the eyes, what? That's a ping sort of look.
Oh. I was just reminded by those two asthma kids talking about doing a taste run throughout all the stalls here. Would be something to suggest for a celebration.
Wait, they do that? They have that as a thing?
Apparently.
Have to ask about that
Yeah.
when we have something to celebrate.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna share some of the extra foam noodles with Clarity at this point.
I'll keep the con save because it was pretty good. Yeah, but it probably could use a tiny touch of like sour cream or something, but because it's but tasty, really tasty.
I see what you mean.
And Remy is probably too angry to care right now. So, probably have a bit of time. Should we be alerting the Mobius twins?
Probably be a good idea.
Probably.
Clarity, Barnabas, remember they have booby-trapped the house. There is one safe path. Probably two if your Alisane can actually fly.
They've booby trapped the house though, so we should be careful.
Oh, of course they did. But they've left a path for.
One path, another because of wings, but you know.
Well, that's fair enough. How navigable is the one path? Because you sound dubious.
I don't quite remember what
It was
was
supposed to be
that.
through heavy blackberry bushes, so a lot of thorns.
It's a little thorny, with the blackberry bushes, but you know, doable.
Which means I'm probably going to want to take Barnabas. He'd be the one who'd struggle. Because y'all are either small, nimble, or both.
Mm.
Right? Yep, okay. Onward to the Bone Orchard. Of course, I do wonder how much they actually know.
Yeah,
Well,
it
only
may
one way to find out.
Yeah, fair enough. So yeah, over to the Bone Orchard, and I'll say grabs Barnabas and basically flies them onto one of the upper floor balconies. Is locked, but I'll say apparently still has her every gadget in her décolletage, so in we go. You guys go around to the back of the house where you. It's probably Rylan with the passive perception, and Ava with halfway decent survival, who can see the spot that should be a good entrance to the path. It's gonna be a squeeze.
Gonna be a bit tight, but that should be a good spot.
I mean, yeah, certainly looks the part.
Okay, so everybody apart from obviously Barnabas, because Barnabas went over all of this, make me a dex check. Remy, wow, oh fuck. The one that lives in the woods.
Rolls two.
Oh my god, I'm gonna say it's because Remy had the good sense to summon her armor before going through the thorn bushes. So Remy gets out scot free. Rest of you take, thankfully not too much, 2 points of slashing damage as you kind of rip up various bits on thorns. Michigan has also skipped this by flying over, so when Hazel comes out, scratched up with blackberry bushes, finds Michigan picking blackberries off the blackberry bush and just being like, delicious. This thing apparently has a bag of holding for a stomach. Like,
Ow. Ow.
delicious.
Yeah, sure. We take that.
Snug?
Come here.
Snug. When not being Omen Griffin, Michigan is very much delicious or snug.
Two settings. He's either a food hoover or puddle thing.
Or Omen Griffin.
When Omen Griffin is not enabled.
So yeah, basically 3 settings. Omen Griffin, Food Hoover, Snug Machine. And yeah, the door available to you is the one off the kitchen, and when you open that back door, you wind up with Mr. Bones pointing a sword at your face. And Alana kind of does the Scooby Sack thing. No, Mr. Bones, no, sorry. It's got weird. And yeah, Barnabas and Alice come down the stairs fairly. Yeah, Michigan squirms out of loaf position and apparently attempts to gnaw on bits of Mr. Bones. Hey! Delicious? No!
Barry, no. Michigan, come back here.
He's actually standing on one of the clavicles of Mr. Bones, like, but yeah, that pitiful but look,
Come here, Snug, now.
snug, snug.
I'm gonna continue all this. Sorry, Ladera, that's great. Camera.
That galore.
Alana kind of shoos Mr. Bones into the front room, and Nyala comes in, going, "Okay, you look pretty reasonable for people who came back from hell."
We had a bath and lunch.
Given the looks on your faces, I take it you've heard at least some really shitty news.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've nominated a few of them for burial in the Bone Orchard. Lend, the new captain. Adelaide and her other. Not all of them make it to here, but they kind of work the hardest to keep things going halfway reasonably. Alana is just. I mean, they did try with some resurrecty bits, but we're not sure exactly, but we think that their souls got completely destroyed.
Mm.
We're afraid
There's
of something like that.
nothing to bring back.
Not even with the not even a true resurrection.
The soul still has to be there, you know that.
I know. I know.
But yeah, we tried. You know, even the Temple of Nerul people, who are usually pretty set on not doing that except in extreme circumstances, thought this was extreme circumstances, and they tried, and they looked, and the souls just weren't anywhere. So it's not that they're trapped or lost or missing, they're just gone.
We're gonna have to tell your mom, Hazel.
And Alice says, "No, you don't understand. Tully and Miranda know. I messaged them. They'll probably know by now that that's why they couldn't bring them back. Lyra's pretty smart.
Hmm.
But that's why Skylar is so keen on the Oath of Vengeance now.
Say blame her.
I don't know how the other kids are doing, but Well, we've got a lot to do. We've still got this apology shit to do as well, and
Mhm.
the hunt, because I know, but it's mornings. It's uh, but and yeah, Niala's just actually should flag up. They're not going to do this with all of them, but your Darwin and Farida stopped by. They said to get some of the bits of egg off your plate. Um, Darwin's gonna get them to Demille to do the apology there, because Darwin wasn't scared of doing that one. And because y'all are running blind at this point most of the time, they're gonna stick around to see what they can do about research, opening new bits of the Silver Vault to try and help that way. But Olivand and Davith are actually okay. Here's the thing I don't entirely get. Why are you guys still alive?
Because they are.
I made a
Oh,
I made a
I have a
pact with a
guess.
couple of planetars.
I mean, I was going to say because they aren't Asimov, but I don't say really that one.
Well, no, that's not. I mean, it's not entirely what I mean, but I'll say as well. I'll tell you this much, and that's I think why Cherie was going. Um, they could certainly mess with us through that blood link through Avernus.
Yeah,
Because
that's
that's how I ended up in my situation. Because apparently somebody chucked that at me, but weren't actually there.
so. As far as we can tell, Destiny is working for Zariel, and we may have made something of a deal with Zariel.
And Alice says, "You did what?"
I'm still not entirely sure how we got out of that with our
Hurry.
lives
Thanks to
or
Cherie.
Hurry.
souls for that matter, considering. But yeah,
Barnabas, you're the Barnabas and Clarity. One of you is used to the legal system. One of you is fairly used to at least the concept of deals with devils. The problem was you guys didn't actually make a deal. You cemented nothing. She made no promises. You said Cherie said what she would find what you guys would find useful. Zariel made vague noises of possible acceptance, and then you didn't take her up on it anyway. So there's no deal. There's no signature on the dotted line.
Yeah,
She
we didn't.
promised nothing.
She didn't actually promise anything. There's no actual deal. Not with it.
still
Yeah.
sounds like it
Uh,
might be because of that.
Mm,
I don't
I
think
don't.
how legalistic are these things?
devils
Yeah.
like completely.
Okay.
Remember,
So no.
Hazel will remember saying law, evil but law.
All right. That no. Yeah. No. There's no actual documents. No contract signed. No. Nothing. There isn't actually any deal whatsoever.
And
So
Sariel doesn't have the goodness of a heart to do any sort of thing like that. There
Of
is
course
no
not.
goodness.
I think Ree was probably right. She made a deal that included all of us, I guess, including me.
So we need to find the vampire and Jessamy before anything else.
Alice says, my question is, what else can she do with blood? She can't get you, us. I mean, they can't touch you two at all, gesturing to Rylan. And from what I've heard, you guys, Darvin and Faraday, from what I'm gathering, this was accidental gathering, and you guys, from the stories you told me, you didn't get hurt. But
You'd be right on that.
blood means family. Bloodlines. I think this is a theory, but it's got the narrative weight behind it. I think the only reason they haven't done anything to our bloodlines yet, I mean, mine doesn't matter. I think all of mine are dead anyway. I think the only reason they haven't done anything like that is because they're missing the blood of the one they really want. Eonthe is your half-sister, isn't she?
Yeah,
So you share blood.
I guess we do.
Oh. Oh, they have a
Fuck.
target.
And they probably
but-
wouldn't mind getting your, as it turns out, aunt in the deal either. But it sounds like she's
They're-
second banana.
They never even
That's a
did anything
really
to-
weird way to injure a god, but yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Well, it'd take out it'd take out Tiamat's best avatar, basically. She'd need to find or create a new one. But she can't because doesn't have Ava's blood.
They never even seemed to make any attempt to, though.
Yeah, it's possible that they weren't aiming for it at the time.
That's terrifying.
Out of character, was Jessamine a clone or was it her resurrected?
Well, you don't entirely know which one Remy turned into Salsa. The clone or the original, but does it matter?
Well, she's more thinking about if there's one clone, how do we know there won't be more?
Mm.
Well, I have a feeling that this vampire everybody's talking about is probably the source for all the weird, nasty shit Jessamine knew. So if anyone knew, if she knows if she has any more clones, it's probably her.
And, well,
We're trying
probably
to
doesn't
find
help that
out.
now she's fully something else, so now she might even just have the ability to reincarnate in Avernus if she dies outside of it.
Yeah, but she'd have a harder time coming back. If it wasn't hard for beings in Avernus to leave Avernus, we'd be in a lot worse trouble than we are right now.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And besides, given how single-minded she seems to be about the whole thing, that might be, as long as she gets done what she needs done here, it might be her goal. Yeah, fine, kill me here. You'll just send me to Avernus and I'll go. Because that's the one thing I do remember. There was an awful lot of Tiamat forces. I just wish the words didn't just sound like. And Niala's like, you. No, I did not drink the water of the Styx. I just fell into it when somebody paralyzed me above it. Okay, fine, I'm sorry, but you hang out with these guys and they don't always think things through. But you're their common sense. I should have known better, sorry. I think we should be very glad that they're waiting to see if they can potentially, theoretically, that they're waiting to get some of Ava's blood, because I have a feeling that the distance between the planes is probably safe enough for whatever blood relatives Barnabas has. I don't think you know them. You said you were adopted, but
Yes.
we still don't want anybody, even if they gave the awesome that is you up, uh, to die because somebody
Hmm.
like 5 planes over got annoyed. Clarity, same with you.
I don't have any living relatives so long as I know.
Yeah, I mean, well, I mean, you know, your parents are gone. But you might have cousins, or I don't even know, but they'd be a bitch to find. But you still don't want them to die because somebody's
Oh, sure.
having a hissy. Remy, oh Ree, we gotta stop them before they try anything with you.
If Jessamy needs Ava's blood, if what she really wants is the that she's gonna have to find us.
Yeah, probably. But if they get pissed off, we should probably at least try to find them first, just in case they get bored and frustrated. And
Oh, of
Obviously.
course.
I
She is,
mean,
after all, a petty, petty bitch.
and then there's Olivand. And out of character, I never out of character. I never asked Nyx, and none of us ever asked Rylan in character. What? I mean, we know. I know as DM that Rylan's father is gone, which because of how Rylan got exposed to the shadows enough to become a shadow sorcerer. I don't know if mom is still alive, siblings, cousins. That's up to you. But you do have Alice going, I'm sorry, we never asked.
Only sibling. My mother would still be alive, though. That's probably their best bet if they're going after me.
But then again, they probably wouldn't want to hurt your family because they're fighting the same thing Jessamy's fighting. And
Hmm.
I have a feeling that, I mean, the cruelest reason possible, because she just wants more cannon fodder to throw at this shit, but either way,
It's weird having something like that. That's that if she weren't so actively trying to screw us over in the process, just it's ridiculous how somebody can be fighting the same thing we are and be this unhinged and this self-sabotaging almost about it.
how is that self sabotaging beyond the fact that it makes us want to kill her?
It's kind of it. That's kind of most of it. She's the things she's doing, she's essentially like removing possible allies, removing possible cannon fodder, or whatever her logic is by doing this. She's also painted a giant target onto her own face from like 6 different directions. So I'm trying to wonder if she has any face that isn't painted over at this point.
Well, if what you say is true, when she reincarnates in Avernus, if she gets killed here, maybe she doesn't figure she's got anything to lose.
Someone's gonna eventually find a way to kill her there.
And she'll probably keep coming back.
I don't think.
If Zariel decides she likes what Jessamy's doing, I mean, please remember. I mean, I did reading, and while I didn't remember so much while I was in Avernus, when Ava found me, it was a thing. Zariel is bloodlust, hubris, spite. Those two would. She'd get along with Jessamy like a house on fire. Probably literally. Flames, screaming, emergency
Uh,
services running in from all directions.
so she's basically just going to be endlessly resurrecting her personal lieutenant for the until she stops being useful.
And
That's
with a mind like that, I don't think Zariel would ever find her not useful. As long as the
I'm gonna be fighting her until the day we die.
well, it depends if she keeps coming back here. That's the thing. If she does what she needs to do here, we kill her and send her back there. She got enough to fight over there, because, like I said, army or part of an army. Why do I know that? That was what I saw. Wasn't all of it. Of course, some of you, Remy in particular, she spent the most time watching. All that you saw, that wasn't. Is that what she means by that's not all of it?
There was
Hmm.
already a lot of
Mm.
Um,
army.
how many dragons did you see?
How many was it again? One.
No, then you definitely didn't see all of it.
That was the one that was tainted, right?
Yeah.
Like I say, you haven't seen all of the ones that are tainted.
Wonderful.
Oh crap.
I don't remember much, but I remember that.
Yeah, and sorry, DM. Remind me, Black Crown, Jainaran the Third, Black Dragon asshat who transformed.
Yep.
He popped off at the end, right?
Mhm.
Like he didn't get blasted to pieces. He left,
Yes.
and then yeah, that's not including the one that's on this plane, flapping about and screaming.
And Alice is kind of. Sorry, I'm trying to remember words that I didn't understand at the time. Only some of that is going up against Zariel. I don't know where the rest are going. I don't think. Someplace where you need to fly. Someplace where you. And you need to be able to dig. So probably Cragveer.
Hmm.
One of them anyway. I think the other is south. I don't know how far south, but south. Could be the southern lands for all I know, but Christ my dice. They want to wrap up the fight in the southern lands so they can send those people here. Take out the mercenaries first. Belarus. I don't know how long it'll take them to finish things up in the southern lands. Probably a while, but given they pulled so many mercs out for the things going on in Baronsveer, they're gonna try and hit Belarus.
God's above and below. I hate how many decoy plays this five-headed bitch stick has been throwing around.
I understand that. It's frustrating as fuck, but let's face it. She's a god. She is being a bit precipitate right now, but nobody ever said she was stupid.
Yeah, it's just really frustrating because it's always out of reach of something we can just hit.
Not necessarily. Cragveer's gonna have to wait. We don't have any inns there. Best I can do is try and do a sending to Rizwa and see what she's found out about there. If we talk to Cherie, when we talk to Cherie, because that's later this evening, we can get her and Governor Zet to send a message to Fortinbras.
And then there's still the factor of shaking Arkin in some way.
We'll find
Barnab-
him when we find him.
Barnabas, you guys didn't have time for Cherie to have a look at Arkin and do a sending to call him out to uh, a place and a time where an ambush by a large force would be impossible. Cherie's not the only one who knows sending, and you know this because Alice went out to use her ability to do ascending.
Mm, We don't. We don't need Cherie to do the sending. Alice, I can do it too, right?
And he definitely listened to any kind of call for a meeting coming from me.
That at least shortcuts that, in theory.
A lot of this stuff is stuff we can do in and around the busy work that we also need to get done. Because unfortunately, we need to keep the goodwill of the governors, especially if shit's about to go down.
Does Kreia Bendis's offended pride really matter at this point?
Yes, because once again, like Hazel was saying, we can't be the helpful if we're dead.
If the continent is about to be invaded,
Well, I don't know about to, but
I-
there's also a difference between placating her enough to... Look, she's got hunters and spies. She might not be petty enough to hurt us, but she might be petty enough to keep her people out of it unless they're directly threatening her province.
Because of all of these, she's the one who thinks, oh yeah, with my scouts, I'll know what's coming ahead of time, and has a stick so far up her ass.
Point is that we go, and that's the other thing. We go, we're brass arrows now. We can talk to her hunters and her scouts and get the kind of information that we can put together with what we already know and deal with it faster than she could. And she's just collecting information because, let's face it, that's what brass dragons do. We're actually going to use it.
Yeah, collecting on it and sitting on it.
And if we go to Egref to hunt the weird thing, A, we get some practice in. B, we get to talk to the scholarly types. And if we go and do the apology to Hjaal Fortinbras, we can A, warn him, and B, warn your parents.
Mm-hmm.
And if we can't get that dealt with in time, it would be helpful to know that they had other means of protection. So, we listen to what Cherie has to say. We see what we can fit into a plan for that. Given we're in a hurry, we can, and we probably don't want to necessarily approach a vampire in nighttime.
Probably not.
We can take an evening trip. Can we take an evening trip to... Rylan, how much do you know about teleportation?
I mean, I've talked with Ferret a decent bit about it. I can certainly try some things.
Well, you're a sorcerer, so sometimes it's just a matter of wanting it real bad.
Mm,
So we make an evening apology trip to Hjaal Fortinbras. See if we can take Cherie with us for that. I'm sure she'd love to meet Remy's parents, who I'm sure will offer us tea and dessert, because I don't think we're getting away from that woman in particular without being fed something. And come back ask Niala if she has any better ideas of where Jessamy might be to save us some time. And in the morning, we have some breakfast and then we deal with Vampire Lady.
The
I like
plan
this
of
plan.
action. Let's do it.
But en route to the garden spot, because this conversation has taken a while, I keep forgetting how long it takes to actually put together a plan of operation. Um, Still need to pick up a new bedroll.
Mm-hmm.
Did anyone see where I left that? I'm just curious because I figure it's in hell now. It belongs to the devils now. I don't give a shit.
Did we see it? I don't think.
Yes, you
No.
did. No,
Oh, in that little
yeah,
cave.
you
in that
actually
little-
saw her little resting nook.
You'd made yourself a little nook, which I think is where I saw it.
Well, and I take it when you found and holds up the locket that was in there too.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Well, you got the important stuff, so that's cool. And yeah, unless anyone has anything else they need to be doing.
I got things I think might be helpful, but that's just equipment and probably not likely to result in anything.
Well, what kind of equipment are you talking about?
I mean, it's not. It's the problem is that any heavier armor that any of it that or more functional more like utility items we could pick up, the armor wouldn't be steel singer quality, which we need, and anything else, I have absolutely no idea what our chances of finding it are.
Are we talking about shit like holy water?
By and large, yeah.
In Ambeer? City of holy people.
Yeah, that here easier, obviously, but I'm like it's holy water is just one thing. There's a list of other kinds of like miscellaneous utility type things we would need for later stuff.
Well, let's deal with one shopping bit at a time. Also, keep in mind you have to be careful with the holy water because, as Remy will probably remind you, and has a couple of times, you need to leave the vampire alive.
Yeah, which is the frustrating bit because it so well. Solar beacon, pointing to Alice. Solar beacon, pointing to Remy. Solar beacon. If any of us hit her too much, she's just going to evaporate. And now Ava also solar beacon.
The thing is that most of us still have like weapons and just regular weapons, and Barnabas probably hits harder than most, if not all of us.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I've done it, and I know you guys have too, where you just hit somebody in the head with the pommel and effectively restrain them. The thing is that there's a lot of us. There's one of her. Once we've beaten her down, she's not gonna have the strength to fight us. So we get information out of her. Promise her we might let her live if she answers our questions, and then let the planetar that Ree made her deal with, and let her deal with it. Like we said, we wouldn't kill you.
I'm really
Yeah.
sure she doesn't lie though, because I know Hazel's got a spell, but even that doesn't.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, my insight got a whole hell of a lot better lately, for a start. Second of all, if she's afraid for her life
And missing a few limbs.
and thinking that, we're heroes, we promise her in all honesty that we will not kill her if she tells us the truth.
Like a shot.
Because it won't be a lie. We won't kill her.
True.
We don't offer her that deal until we've beaten her down.
Oh, of course.
But one thing at a time, and the one thing is finding me a bedroll and heading in the general direction of the garden spot, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Does anyone else think that the one thing at a time list keeps getting longer and longer?
Yeah,
How do you think
unfortunately,
I keep a list?
the thing that's the thing. Given that half of the things that are on that one thing at a time list are distractions that we still need to deal with from the other big shit, or a step we need to deal with the big shit, we don't really have any choice in the matter. At least we're finding ways to multitask that aren't going to completely fuck us over.
Yep.
I just want to flag up so that we don't forget that we have to save the little half elfin boy
Right.
that the vampire.
Mm-hmm.
He's keeping him as food.
He was given to him as payment.
Did I know about this bit at all?
Yes, you
Yes,
did.
he did.
Yes.
Good.
Alice,
Okay.
however, did not.
No.
Yeah.
We're going to beat her up quite badly.
I'm going to pick up a couple of other things on the way to the bedrolls.
Good.
What she picks up is garlic paste.
Does
It
that
holds up.
actually work on weapons?
I mean, it hurt anybody if rubbed into an open wound.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
She also picks up a few lemons and some sea salt.
Oh Lord.
Consider, we want this vampire to, at the very least, be in extreme pain, and two, ideally missing all of her limbs except for her
No.
head.
No. Those limbs stay on. The more limbs there are, the more wounds there are to rub things into.
Okay, fair enough.
And I say, remember me never to get you mad at me.
I doubt that's possible. There are only a few things that get me this mad. She also picks up
Right.
the most comfy, damn-looking bedroll.
As she should.
Probably you guys are looking at the bedrolls available here for like 2 gold apiece, and like this is way better than mine. I mean, you can just replace yours, is Alice's
Yeah,
statement.
screw
on
it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm following up on that
Yeah, I think
at
I'll do the
minimum,
same.
and if I'm
Keep it
given the
together.
chance, I'm also gonna, because if Alice is getting the garlic paste and other stuff, I'm just gonna see about holy water.
Holy water is going to be a little bit more of an undertaking because the blessing that to keep it actually reasonably rare, because it's such an actual potent weapon, it's a little more involved than what we call holy water. So, given that we're a little past time now, that's something probably that Hazel's going to want to ask about after the whole dealing with the evening situations in Belarus, and the dinner with Shuri, and further ancillary information, which we will get to in 2 weeks' time. Thank you very much, and I'll see you then.